Welcome back to the Notary Entrepreneur. My name is Jeffrey Veal. I'm a full-time notary in Chicago, Illinois. I've been a full-time notary for about 3 years, consistently making between about $1,500 to $2,500 a week. And I'm trying to teach other notaries to do the same thing. Our motto over here is we don't just notarize, we monetize. And want you, before we get started, make sure you hit that like button. Just you moving that big fat finger of yours and hitting that button is an act of faith. It's an act of you saying that I'm actually taking action, and you're doing the physical steps, the physical manifestation of you actually moving your finger toward that like button is going to do something to your subconscious mind to show you that you are taking action because you're here doing things to make yourself a better notary. You're doing that action. It's a signal to your subconscious mind that you're doing something positive and you're making things happen. So let's get it. Let's get it. My goal over here is to make a nationwide network of notary publics where we're all networking. We're getting group discounts. We're sending business to each other. We're helping each other, and we're helping each other get to our goals. And by the way, always go into the description part, right down here, I think, or maybe right down here. You'll look in there and you'll see that I have a lot of great things to offer that you need as a notary. So the tip of the day today is jurat. I'm sure you've seen the word jurat in this notary public world, and you might wonder what it means. Well, it just basically means when you're doing a jurat, it's a type of notarial certificate that you add to a document or that's already there. But the main characteristic of it is that it's the signer swearing and affirming to the contents of the document that they're true. That's what your jurat is. So, and don't forget to hit that like button, by the way. So now, what we're going to talk about today is notarial certificates. Notarial certificates. A good way to think about a notarial certificate is just like if you have a blank check and you give that check to somebody and they're going to look at it and they're going to say, what is this? It doesn't say what the amount is for. It doesn't say what the date is. You don't sign it. But when you add in those components, who you're giving it to, the date, the amount, now that check has substance. That's just like a blank document. If that's just like if you stamp a document and you don't put anything else to it, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just like the blank check example that I give you. So when you think about it, every notarization that you've done, usually, or most of the ones that you've done, it says state of, then you fill in your state, the county, you fill in your county, and it says sworn and subscribed to, and then you notarize it. So now, anytime you notarize a document, it needs to have that language in it. That is your notarial certificate. So your notarial certificate can be added to the document. If you don't have a stamp, you can write it in. If you can't write it in, don't have a stamp, you can add another page to the document that has this notarial certificate wording to it. So this comes into play a lot of times. Like, for example, I get a lot of people that need a notarized document to get their car out of the pound. And so they write up the letter and then it gets notarized. Now, in a situation like this, the average person doesn't know that they need to write in the wording sworn, state of, county of, sworn and subscribed to, by this particular date. So a new notary may just stamp it, sign it, date it. And a lot of times the receiver of that document will get the document and just accept it because they don't know. But if there's somebody that really knows the law or really knows what's supposed to go on this notarized document, they could say, well, there's no notarial certificate on this document. We're not going to accept it. And I just had a situation like that with a notary that I gave a job to, and she didn't know that she was supposed to write that in. Customer wasn't able to get her car out the pound. I had to send somebody else out to do it correctly. And the notary basically just crashed and burned. She crashed out. And but I'm gonna save that story for another day. But it was sad the way that she went out. All she had to do was just go back and do it over. It's just chalked up to a learning experience. But that's another story for another episode. So notarial certificates, that's something that you definitely need to know. Short episode today. So thanks for tuning in. Remember, book me like Barnes and Nobles. I do consultations. And if you stick with me, you keep watching these videos, I guarantee you're going to become a better notary. And remember, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. And with that being said, you might want to get you a mentor. Peace.